how Bisping do this in his fight 10,000 times. So I just know it will come.
You're never a big talker, but after it, I saw you pointed down to your foot, you know, kind of in reference to the face-off, of course, at the media day. So give an idea, I mean, was this an emotional thing for you? I mean, was this personal for you?
Because when he do face-off, a few days before fight, he say, you got small feet, yeah? I say, I don't know why he say that, and I say to him that he gonna feel it in the fight, my feet. And in the last of the first round, he feel it.
Very nice. And you said afterwards, you said, hey, there were rumors that he's going to get a title shot now. You didn't exactly make a strong case. You just said, maybe I deserve a title shot. So make the case now. Tell us why you deserve the next title shot.
I don't know. I think I deserve. I beat Luke Lockhorn. He's a great fighter. I knock him out. So maybe I would like to, you know. I have 56 years old. So now is the best time for me.
Yeah, and just one from me. After the fight, it showed you on TV saying something to Dana White through the cage. What were you saying?
I just asked him, did he like my fight? And he said that he liked it, and I just said him that I'm proud and I can be part of the UFC. That's it.
What about a turnaround? Obviously, a massive win for you tonight, but are you carrying any injuries from this?
No, nothing. Like after the fight, some scratches, something, but nothing serious.
Jan, straight ahead. The kick you landed right at the end of the first round really seemed to have Rockhold rattled. When you came out for the second, could you tell that that kick had still affected him?
I think so, yes. I see this in his eyes. He go down. He was a little bit dizzy. My coach says to me that he's hurt, but be careful. Put pressure on him. He is yours. So I just did it.
And in that first round, did you see any tells with him that opened him up for that hook that you eventually landed in the second? Did you see indications of that opportunity in the first round?
I look this left hand all the time, but it will come in second. That was my plan, you know, to hit him the left hand.
Jan, that was his over here. That was his first fight at light heavyweight. Did he feel strong? Did he feel any weaker, stronger than anybody he faced?
I think so, yes, because I said this before fight that into a fight is different cardio, different conditioning, different timing, and I think so. He feel it that it's much different. But sparring is different, fight is different.
Did he do anything that surprised you? Did he stun you at all and feel any power from him?
No. He did it that what we think he's gonna exactly do. Yeah.
Jan, over here on your right. Obviously, there's a lot of action in the light heavyweight division. There's Johnny Walker, there's Dominic Reyes. You have been at the top of the division for a while. What do you think is next for you?
And I think I come back to the top of the division and someone from the top.
Did you see the main event, and what were your thoughts on the fight? How did you score it?
Yeah, John Jones win the fight, but it was a great fight. Thiago showed his best, and it was nice to watch the fight. That's all. So thank you.
Were you cage fight? Was the African KO as bad as it looked?
Just yeah, number 5. Just so in case you say anything. It's worse.
We were up top. I was at the top.
It was the worst thing I've ever seen. It wasn't even so much the KO, it was the moments after, because like usually they have those moments where they keep, they kind of try to fight or they're trying to get up and they don't know where they're going, but it was done. He did that like 10, 15 times before he stood up. You know what I mean? And he at one point rolled up on his stomach. It was like
He didn't start actually moving for a very, very
it
long
was
time.
very scary.
Forever. And like, I saw the down and one as well, which was incredibly bad. And he didn't move forever. Like, man, took a long
Oh
time.
man, it was like you could just, it was like, I'm surprised they let him walk out of the cage.
Mm. Yeah, it was crazy. Right. How did we score the fight? The last one?
I don't like to score fights. Well, first of all, I was recapping it, and I know that sounds weird, but like I just can't. It's hard for me to score when I'm
Yeah,
recapping.
it is.
But I thought John should have won.
Interesting.
You don't agree?
No, I actually scored it for Santos.
I mean, I wouldn't have been disappointed. I wouldn't have been like robbery. You know what I mean?
Same. I didn't like with John went out then it was a robbery at all. It was just not how he
Right.
scored it.
Right.
But I was sat a long way away.
Yeah. It's just like I know. It's too
Expect anything different?
Yeah, right. Actually, a little understated.
Yeah, actually, that's what I thought.
I know. It's like, what do I do?
The peers.
It's like he comes in and out of frame perfectly. Even if he meant 5 years, or even if he meant compliments, why did you point out something behind the compliments? Just stop. Right. Just say, she's a great, she's classy, blah, 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 blah. Period. You know what I mean? Like, and I wasn't like telling, like, it wasn't a big deal. Everybody was like, okay. Well, a lot of people were saying, a lot of people were like, saying, what's an attack on him? Right. Like, I would even say there's like, I get what you're just trying to say. Right. That's how it can be taken. I don't know. Like, would totally do it. My lipstick's all red. I know, at this point my makeup's all like melted. I probably look really dewy. It's more about how we feel. Yeah, I feel too. Like once we get right into it, maybe I'll shower. Yeah, but that knockout was nasty. I just didn't think with everything else. Oh yeah. Nunes got one, right? Yeah.
Fastest knockout in UFC history, and clearly a fight that was very personal to you. So, along the way, you've had some great wins. Where does this one rank all time out of all your accomplishments?
Wasn't personal, man. I just don't like the dude. I knew how to get inside his head, and that's it, man. You know, it's nothing personal for me. It's just business. I'm here to get these checks, get paid, and make sure that I put enough money away for my kids to go to university, so that belts was next. And I'm glad I got to end that dude, man.
Started with flying knees before. I mean, was there a decision that you thought you could knock him out with it, or is that just the way you wanted to start the fight? I mean, why was that the initial move?
He's so predictable, man. He's a scrub. But a part of me just wanted to throw it out there so he knew, like, if you do shoot like an idiot, like you only know how to, your head's gonna get clipped, and that would put the brakes on him and then beat him up for 14 minutes and 30 seconds and execute him. Or, he took the bait. I put my hands behind my back. He probably thought we were gonna fucking patty cake it up or something. I don't know, but he walked right into it.
I saw some criticism. People say the punches weren't really necessary. Maybe
They were super necessary.
Why were they necessary?
What do you mean? Why were they not necessary?
Because he was already knocked out at that point.
But the referee hadn't pulled me off, and my job is to hit somebody till the referee pulls me off. So to those people, I would say maybe don't watch him and maybe go back to soccer.
I saw some other criticisms, perhaps, of your celebration afterwards. Any regrets at the celebration or your behavior in the cage afterwards?
Man, there's not too many people that I've disliked. I have over 50 pro fights, and he's one of them. He talked about my manhood, talked about my culture, my ethnicity. Where do we draw? Why do certain people get to do stuff online? So you could do anything. Everything is cool before a fight. You're allowed to do and say whatever you want. Like other fighters are not doing, talking about people's religions, wife, even kids. That's cool. But after a fight, I'm not allowed to showboat and rub it in your face so you and guys like you could see it and be like, maybe I don't talk so much shit, because when I cross one of these real motherfuckers, they're gonna make me pay for it, man. They're gonna embarrass the shit out of me. And it's not over for Ben either. He still has to deal with me. If I see him at Whole Foods, I'm gonna still slap that dude up because I don't like him.
The last thing for me, I know after the last fight you thought, I'm gonna get the title shot. You didn't. You took this one. Why now do you believe the title shot will be yours?
It should have been mine, like you said, but I don't know. I'm not gonna sell my soul, man. I know they go around sometimes, telling, oh, you got the title shot, or you, and then see who gives them the best deal. I want to get paid for my services. I think I bring a very real thing to this fighting thing, and that's just baptizing people. I'm not God, but I'm putting motherfuckers in another planet when I'm done with them.
Jorge,
On Thursday, you told the schmo, I'm right over here, you had the head buster, the rib cage destroyer, and the kneecap defibrillator. Is it safe to say you gave Ben Askren the head buster?
He got the head buster with no longer with us clavicle. He got all types of shit. Then he got those punches to the face, you know, because I thought he was gonna get up.
You said you want a title shot next. How soon do you want to get in the octagon with Kamaru Usman?
It could be tomorrow. I'm ready. As you see, I know they said I was in a fight. The rumors are saying that I was in a fight, but I wasn't. A fight is usually longer than 5 seconds, so I wasn't in a fight. No injuries. I'm ready to go tomorrow.
Lastly, for me, did that go exactly how you expected it to go?
Yes and no. My whole vision of this, if you could get inside my head and replay my thoughts, were me beating his ass for 14 minutes and then putting him out like that. I really wanted to hurt him for as long as I could, as much as I could. Destroy his kneecaps, bust his ribs, make him piss blood, and then send him home packing. But you know, I think in a way he got off easy.
Jorge in front. Congratulations.
Thanks, sir.
Did you see anything from what Robbie Lawler did in that fight that led you to feel like he would be vulnerable to that move tonight?
Not just the Robbie Lawler fight, his whole career. He's always like, his face is a magnet to crotches. And if you want to try to touch my crotch and you're a dude, there's a heavy toll to pay, man. There's a heavy toll. This crotch ain't for dudes.
And where did you get the dislike for him in the first place? Was it when you came into the UFC, or was it even before that?
Well, now that that the fight is over, because there was a lot of he say, she said, what happened in 2008. He came to the gym, and my coach, Ricardo Laborio, told me, man, this guy's a good wrestler. Don't take him lightly, you know. I kid you not. As soon as we started, I picked him up, slammed him. We scrambled back to a neutral because he could scramble his ass off. We kept going. He couldn't score a takedown. I took him down again, but this is what MMA gloves not throwing hard, you know, just like your measuring chart. I took him down again to which he out-scrambled me and stayed on top of me for like a minute and a half. Didn't submit me, wasn't my guard, but didn't pass my guard. So when he was putting these comments out there, I was like, man, this guy's a fucking idiot, bro. He has to lie to himself to get himself motivated. You just gave yourself away. You're a bitch, you know? If you gotta be lying about shit like that, you're a bitch. But I'm at American Top Team where dozens of champions come in there throughout the weeks. You don't think I have stories to tell of guys that I've decapitated or put down with a body shot or whatnot? But I don't do that because I'm a man. And we got a code in the gym. This is what we're working. We sharpen our tools and then we display them to the world. He doesn't have those ethics and guidelines. So just from that alone, I was already like, man, he's a weirdo. And then on top, after the wrestling practice, he came by and tried to do some corny ass joke, and it was like me, maybe Jay-Z, Cavalcante at the time, somebody else. We just looked at him like, man, you could just introduce yourself. You don't gotta be a fucking idiot, you know. And since that moment, I never liked him.
And lastly, for me, do you have over 50 fights, as you mentioned. Do you think that you're better suited to be a champion now than you would have been when you're young, because you're more mature, you've had more experience in the fight game, and you know better what it takes than maybe you did 5, 8 years ago when you were maybe more physically talented but not as experienced?
No, I'm probably more physically talented right now, man. Tell you the truth.
Really? In what way?
Many ways, man. Some of them I can't talk about them on air, but I'm fucking talented as fuck, man, physically and mentally.
Poirier straight ahead. Dustin Poirier tweeted after your knockout that at dinner last night, Mike Brown and you had talked to him about this being the game plan with the knee, and that Mike Brown had even shown him video of you guys practicing that. So now that the fight's happened, can you kind of tell the story of that and, you know, leading up to it, how long you guys had been contemplating this?
Well, it was in the back of my pocket, like, pull it out whenever you want, George. Mike Brown is like very, especially with me, he kind of just lays out the game plan and do it what you want, you know. We didn't know if I was going to open up with it right away, but we knew I was going to have it in my back pocket for sure, you know. And I did want to hit him with it in the first round. I didn't know if right off the rip or a minute or two into it, because mainly whether I hit him or miss, it kind of pumps the brakes on wrestlers like, whoa, if I shoot in, I could get my face rearranged and look like an idiot on TV. So I definitely wanted to put that out in the first round. I didn't think I was gonna do it right off rip, but he fell for the bait so hard. I could just see how eager he was just to come forward. And so I put my hands behind my back and let him think, come eat. He didn't know it was gonna be a buffet though. He thought it was gonna be a 3-piece. Now you getting the whole fucking MGM Grand buffet to the face, man.
And even if the knee had not landed perfectly, was the idea that that would probably mentally alter his game plan as far as the wrestling focus moving forward, that it would be easier to dictate the pace of the rest of the fight?
Well, three outcomes I thought from the knee. The first one, the second one would have been I miss, and the third one would have been I miss, and he grabs my leg and he takes me down, and we scramble right away, and he finds out I can't hold this guy down. And I was cool with all three of those scenarios and outcomes. I don't think there's a fourth one, unless somebody could think of one. But those were the outcomes in my head, so I was like, man, these knees are just free from me. I'm not fighting a guy that intends to punch me in the face whatsoever. He's not a mean guy. He doesn't want to punch me in the face. He wants to hug my leg and put his face in my crotch. There's nothing. I can throw all the knees I want. I have nothing to worry about.
Jorge, aquí, a tu izquierda.
Hey, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, en primer lugar felicitaciones por lo que has hecho. Hace un par de días te preguntaba que cómo estabas y me decías que muy bien. Y además me decías que estabas muy contento porque decías que le ibas a partir en la cara a un payaso y encima te iban a pagar por ello, así lo dijiste.
Sí, señor.
Además
Sí,
estoy
señor.
encantado de hablar en español porque de momento no hubo nadie que te hiciera hablar en tu lengua madre. Y,
Ya tú sabes.
Ya tú sabes, brother. ¿Te imaginabas esto en el mejor de tus sueños?
No en el mejor de mis sueños. En el mejor de mis sueños, yo lo iba a castigar por 14 minutos y enseñarle a él que es un hombre de verdad. Y mi papá está ahí, él es testigo. Mi papá fue el que me dijo, no quiero que hagas eso, yo quiero que acabes con él rápido para que le enseñes al mundo que tú mejor eres que él. Pero yo en realidad lo quería castigar por 14 minutos. Mi papá es el testigo mío. Ese era mi mejor sueño, que yo lo castigara en 14 minutos y después lo ponía a dormir.
¿Qué es lo siguiente para ti? What is the next for you?
El título.
Título.
El título y hamburguesas.
Gracias.
Jorge, over here. Before the fight, did you sense any kind of fear in him? Because I noticed.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Man, I had that dude spooked out. It was funny to me that he kept saying he's under my skin because I didn't go to a press conference. He was bragging about that I didn't go to a press conference. Let me tell you guys a secret. I could care less to be here, man. If I could be right now In-N-Out Burger and some cheeseburgers and I wouldn't get fined for missing this thing, I'd be gone. No disrespect, because there's a lot of cool motherfuckers in here, bro. But I don't care, especially to fly across the country. I had a little bit of food poisoning and I had staff. The first one that was in Atlanta, I could see this. I had a good case of staph. And I just said, I'm not gonna go nowhere like this, you know? So he was bragging about that. I was like, man, I'm gonna catch this dude. I seen him one day in the hallways, we were taking pictures, and I just jumped up on him. And right away I could see how nervous he was. He's a deer in lights, stiff meister, you know? Similar how he ended up tonight, stiff as a fucking board. It's the same way he was every time I seen him, man. So I got no respect for him, because if you could talk that shit like this, you gotta be able to do it in the FaceTime. If not, shut the fuck up, man, because we don't even know if it's you the one typing, man. It's just fucking, he just throws shit on the wall and hopes that it sticks, you know?
It's obvious that you guys don't really love each other, but is there a chance that maybe one day you guys could drop the beef, or you think is this a permanent thing?
Oh no, it's not beef, because if it was beef, it'd be different. I'd be at the front of his house waiting for him right now. It's not beef. This is just, I don't like my co-worker, we could say, but this is not beef, you know? This is just some idiot I don't like, you know? But my job, thank God, you guys gotta be jealous of this for me. I get to punch the co-workers I don't like in the face.
Thank you, man.
You got it.
Hey, George, right over here to your left. What's up, man? Aljamain Santos, Eagle Broadcasting. I don't think there's any kind of slow motion camera that can capture those, if they could, capture those 5 seconds. Where in those 5 seconds did you know that you had it in the bag?
As soon as that dude signed the contract, man. As soon as he was acting like he wanted to come forward, and I put my hands behind my back and like signaled to him, and he was like, yeah, for sure, I'm putting my face in your crotch. I was like, all right, I got you, bro. For sure, I got you, bro. You're such a fucking fish, man.
Appreciate it, thank you.
You got it.
Jorge, right here. What did Dana say to you in the octagon after the finish?
Be nice to him. That's what I remember. I don't know. I'm sure he said a couple other things, you know, but he was just like, be nice to Ben. Be nice to him, man. You know, because I was telling him, why'd you put me to fight with this guy? Because I believe, and a lot of the media also believed it. Not a lot, but some of the media, that this was a step back for me. I've been fighting fucking. I fought Eve Edwards over 10 years ago, but that guy's a fucking fighter. That guy's a stud, bro. You guys might not know who Eve Edwards is. If you don't, shame on you. Go do some research. I've been fighting badasses for a long time. to get put in with this guy was a setback in a way, you know. I'm glad though. I'm gonna steal that fucking hype and go fight for my title now, because they were saying this is the greatest grappler ever. I think Joe Rogan said it's like grappling two guys. All the media was behind this guy. He's what, fucking 38-0 or whatever the fucking bullshit record he has, you know. So he's obviously something in the grappling community. But to me, as far as fighting goes, he doesn't rank in my top 10 victories.
And then at Media Day, I brought up the fact that Dana said he wanted to build a PI in Puerto Rico, and you said...
I'm gone.
Yeah, and you said...
I'm gone. Puerto Rico, here I go.
Did you talk to Dana about that? You said you wanted to meet him.
Nah, Dana ain't talking to me about that. He might be a little mad I did his boy Ben like that, man. I know those two are real close.
What happens if Colby wins next month? How do you determine who gets the title shot? How do you figure that out?
I don't know who if that's Dana, if that's Hunter, if that's Sean Shelby. I don't know of them who does it. But I think my body of work speaks for itself. If you want sheer violence, you know who to call. If you want other shit, man, fucking guys going to press conferences on time and posting on their shit, then you know who to call me. But if you want somebody who's gonna give you this fucking violence, you know who to call.
All right, guys, the attendance was 18,358. It was a sellout, $6.06 million gate. The performance of the night went to Masvidal, Nunes, Jan, and Yadong. They all won $50,000. Congratulations. Who's got the first question?
Dana, quick on Ben Askren. Have you gotten any medical?
Yeah,
updates on him?
I should have jumped into that too. He's good. All of his stuff came back negative, so he's okay. I'm sure he's not okay, but he's, not.
Good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
No question. Listen, before we get to tonight's fights, there was one outside the cage. There was a lot of commotion before Gilbert Melendez's fight. Nate Diaz out there in the crowd. Do you know exactly what happened? We couldn't see exactly from where we were.
They got into a fight, Khabib and Diaz, talking shit to each other back and forth, and everybody, broke it up. We moved Diaz, and then Diaz left after the Melendez fight.
Just verbal, or was it physical?
Verbal, no, verbal.
Okay, fair enough. I appreciate that.
Everybody got it before it became anything other than verbal.
Cool. Let's get your thoughts on the main event. I mean, maybe not the rousing finish you wanted, but another win for John Jones. I mean, what did you think about the fight itself?
Yeah, listen, in a night where there's record-breaking knockouts, knocking out people that have never been knocked out in MMA before, and things like that, I think the fans have that, you know how it is. The fans want to see all the crazy shit, but when you have two guys with everything on the line, when one of the most coveted titles in the sport, the light heavyweight title has been one of the most important titles in the sport forever. These guys are fighting a hard fight, busting each other up. It's not the most popular way to win, but he won the fight.
It's a fight that you openly said you had wanted to see, and then you get this close result, split decision. Is it a fight you want to see again?
No, I had John Jones winning that thing easily. When I heard it was a split decision, I was like, what the? That's nuts. So, yeah, he won the fight. The thing you got to understand too is when you're somebody like John, who he's fought all, name the names in the light heavyweight division. He's fought them all. He's beat them all. He's had, we'll call it a hard life outside the octagon. And he comes back and continues to beat guys the way that he beat DC. He beat Smith. He just wins this fight against a very tough, durable, strong, powerful guy who came to win. It's a win, man. And these guys now that he's starting to face are younger than him, have been kinder to themselves outside the octagon than he has been. This is now in this stage of his career is what's really going to define him as the greatest.
I want to ask you about Amanda Nunes, another incredible performance by her tonight. The storyline kind of coming in was this is the last big star that she needed to beat, right? So she wins that way. Where do you go with her? I mean, is there anybody that makes sense for her to fight at 135, 145? What's next for her?
What does this remind you of? Anderson Silva, George St. Pierre, John Jones. You know, that's where she's at now. You know, she wants the Cyborg rematch, and you know, we're down to make the Cyborg rematch. So, you know, Cyborg always thinks that I'm being whatever to her, whatever. I'm not. If Cyborg, I don't blame Cyborg for not wanting this fight. I don't blame her. I'm not trying to say anything about her. If she doesn't want it, that's fine. There's always somebody else. You know, she's got both belts and she's willing to defend them both, and she's healthy. You know, you hear these people, it's like you guys were asking me a million times leading into the Cejudo fight and other fights that we've done this with, you know, what if they have both belts, they can't defend them, and I'll go in and I'll say they got to give up one belt. We gave them the opportunity, we thought they could do it. This woman, so even when you look at Cejudo, and again, he'll be fucking calling me in 20 minutes bitching at me about this one, but you know, it's like Cejudo fought up a higher weight class, and I mean, I told you guys that night, what he did in that second round, what he came back from was unbelievable, and I'm like, I'm gonna give it, but he got hurt in that fight. He's out now. He fought a big, strong kid, and now he's hurt. She's not hurt. You know what I mean? She's fighting all the best in the world, destroying them, and she's not hurt. She can. I just saw her skipping down the, you know, the hallway in the background when I was walking here. She's like in the best mood. You know, this woman is tough, man. She's unbelievable. Pound for pound, one of the greatest of all time. So, but there will be somebody next. If Cyborg doesn't want the fight, then there's somebody next.
Dave, the last one I wanted to ask you about was Diego Sanchez. A lot of that fight took place right in front of you. The corner work took place right in front of you. I just wonder kind of what your thoughts are on what happened with Diego tonight and on his future. I mean, I know you've always had a soft spot for him, but
I love Diego Sanchez. I love everything about Diego Sanchez. And, you know, that kid is, when you talk about somebody who was put on this earth to fight, it's what this kid was born to do. He loves it so much. And you saw tonight the way that he was treated by the fans. The fans love this guy. And he fought, you know, Chiesa's going to be scary at that way, man. He was huge, huge. And every time Diego tried to grapple with him, he couldn't. You know, he was overpowered. And Chiesa fought a good fight. Diego's, you know, like 14 years, 15 years, this guy's been in the UFC. It's amazing.
You think you should keep going?
Listen, he's not getting, you know, it's not like he got viciously knocked out. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I think Luke Rockhold should talk about hanging it up. You know, he broke his jaw tonight. So that's the second broken jaw. He's been knocked out viciously a few times here. Shin is all banged up. He had to have skin graft and all kinds of stuff. It's just, he's had a good career. He's been a great fighter. I'd like to see him hang it up. And he's got another career that he's actually doing well at. It's not like he's like, everybody's a fucking model, right? I'm a model. That guy's actually really modeling for Ralph Lauren. So, good for him.
Dana, getting back to Diego Sanchez, before the fight, he made it sound like he really needed to have a really good showing because he was at the end of his deal. You guys plan on keeping, I mean, you just said that you like having him around. You guys obviously plan on keeping him around, or?
Yeah, how old is Diego now? I don't know.
I believe he's, what, 37?
37? Yeah, this is one of those conversations where, you know, Diego's not getting viciously knocked out and everything else, but fighting is a young man's game. It's for young people, man. It's once you start to get older, you know, Father Time is undefeated. He kicks all of our asses, and you know, especially professional athletes. I care about the kid. I love the kid. So, you know, we need to have a serious conversation about what's next. And he doesn't have to have a great performance because it's the end of it. Diego Sanchez has helped build this sport, you know, just as much as, and he's one of the Ultimate Fighter 1 guys, which, you know how I feel about all those guys. So, He's in no risk or fear of anything. You know, I would do anything for Diego. So.
And Holly Holm, as far as her losing this time, is it going to be harder for her to get another championship opportunity? What does it do for her because the fight went that way?
Yeah. Listen, I don't want to start going retirement crazy in here, but you know, she's had an amazing career. She is one of the sweetest human beings you can ever meet. And if you follow her on Instagram, she trains like a beast. You know, she's almost 40 years old and she's in ridiculous shape. The things that this woman can do physically with like the rings and, you know, gymnastics and all that stuff is phenomenal. She's an incredible athlete. She's an incredible human being. I don't know. I think that she needs to take a look at, you know, what's next for her and what she thinks. And I'm just saying that because I care about her. I care about her as a person. She's amazing. So, I don't know, something we should probably talk about.
Thanks, Dana.
Yeah.
Dana, you said about Diego, he was a guy put on this earth to fight. That's what he's born to do. I think there was another guy that same way, Jorge Masvidal. What was your take on what he did?
Yeah, that dude's a killer, man. He is. What a brilliant plan, execution. I mean, everything of that flying knee was brilliant. If you're going into a fight with Ben Askren, you can 99.9% predict that he's going to try to take you down right out the gate, and that's what he thought. He set up the flying knee perfectly. He landed it perfectly, and it was super impressive.
Do you think he, given the way he's won these last couple of fights, he deserves a title shot against Usman?
First of all, Usman isn't even healthy right now. This guy's still, I don't know when he's going to be cleared to fight. When he gets into camp, how does his training camp start going once he starts from? So I can't even talk about who's next with all that stuff. If Askren won tonight, it'd be, what do you think of Askren? Is he next? You know, we'll see what happens.
When you look at Masvidal, I mean, he's a guy that struggled kind of when he first came to the UFC. He lost more than he won for a period of time, and now he looks so dominant and so strong, and he's such a great talker. I mean, he seems to be a guy that if you get him a title shot, he could, you know, really become a star for you. Have you ever seen a guy kind of had that kind of mid-career turnaround like he's had, where struggling and now all of a sudden becomes such a big factor?
So what's weird is with Masvidal, is when I first saw Masvidal, I said, man, this guy is so talented. But it was almost like his head wasn't really into it. It's not until recently that this guy started getting serious about fighting. And when he did, holy shit. Yeah, it's impressive.
Was there anything that you know of, like, did you have a conversation, dude, you're not into this, or
No.
was it just something he did on his own?
Yeah, he just did it on his own. It all just started to turn around.
Sure. And then just one last thing. When you look at him, where he's at right now in his career, do you think he has another level even to get to? I mean, just 2 fights ago he lost to Wonder Boy, right? I mean, so it seems like he maybe even could get better than he is right now on the progression he's at.
Yeah, I mean, that's up to him. It depends on how serious he's taking it, how hard he's working and training, and yeah, I mean, the guy obviously has the potential to be incredible, and you know, he's just he's unique. He's unique. That dude's a fighter. That guy is a guy that if he wasn't doing this for a living, he'd be doing this anyways, somewhere else, illegally probably.
Dana over here, to your right.
Hi.
Hi there. So John Jones had a very tactical fight tonight, and I think a lot of people expected him to be more aggressive. Do you think that he gets enough credit for being such an intelligent fighter?
Like I said earlier, you know, this is his style tonight is not a very fan-friendly style, especially with the craziness that went on tonight. But yeah, at the end of the day, you have to respect the way he fought, the guy he fought, who is very powerful and has been undefeated since moving to this weight, hits hard, but John kept pressing forward. He was the one moving forward all night, and And you know, he fought a smart fight. He fought the fight that he needed to fight to beat him.
Yeah, and finally, you mentioned Amanda Nunes in a list of some of the greatest fighters of all times, not just as a great female fighter. Have you talked with her about giving her any kind of special or boosted marketing push to get her out there and really sell her and not just her fights?
Yeah, well, we do. I mean, we do that. We have a team that, you know, goes out and does tons of PR with these guys when they're not fighting, and we've done that with her. But with some people, it just takes a little longer. Some people, you know, it's funny saying it now, but nobody cared about Chuck Liddell when Chuck Liddell, wasn't until he knocked out Tito that the whole thing blew up and went crazy with Chuck Liddell. Anderson Silva, I mean, I remember having conversations with Ioli back in the day about how many times this guy won and, you know, the things that he was doing, and he didn't really become a star. It doesn't, you know, then Ronda Rousey bursts onto the scene and becomes the biggest thing ever. Conor McGregor, because it's different with different people. It takes different time. But let me tell you this. So tonight, there was almost 19,000 people here. We did a $6.06 million gate. And when I tell you the numbers for this thing are all off the charts, I mean, the numbers tonight were massive for this event in every way. Even we did a fucking 50-50 raffle, and the numbers are insane. They're like $100,000 with the 50-50 raffle, right? So all the numbers are big, and Amanda Nunes is the co-main event. She's a part of that. So, you know, when I hear people talk about, oh, well, this one isn't a star, that idiot, what's the idiot's name? What's the idiot? I'll give him more fucking PR here. What's his name? Ravel, okay? Guy's out running 40-yard dashes and shit. This guy likes fucking attention, okay? This guy likes attention, and I'm gonna give him more attention. You know, he says, the worst thing that could have ever happened tonight is Amanda Nunes won. She's not a star for the UFC. So, this is the type of stupid shit that we hear. Amanda Nunes is a star, and I wouldn't say that before tonight. Man, what is that? Are the planes landing here? This is crazy. So I wouldn't say tonight that everybody believed that Amanda was, you know, the best and all this other stuff. But now it's just get to a point where you can't deny anymore, even if you're a hater and you're denying. And so many people love Holly. They love Holly, you know, and you can't deny anymore. Amanda Nunes is the shit.
Dana, last month you said you had a ground for the PIE in Mexico. Are there any chances that for the Mexico event in September you be breaking ground or having any event?
Maybe, yeah, maybe. I actually have a meeting this week. Those guys are going to walk me through everything that's going on with, you know, the land and what we're thinking and what's going to happen next.
So you will be in Mexico this week?
Mexico?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is crazy. Has this been going on all night?
Yeah, there's no smiles.
Or just when I sat down? Any more questions?
Just one last. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
You're going to Uruguay with Valentina defending the belt. Are any chances to come back to Mexico anytime soon? Because it's been 4 years now. It's going to be 5 years next year. Not having a championship fight in Mexico City.
I don't know. Listen, when you go into these different markets, you know, again, I'll use Australia as a perfect example. Look how long we've been doing fights in Australia. We finally built up that market to a point where it absolutely makes sense to bring a title fight there. Especially there's an Australian who holds the belt and a champion from New Zealand. So we'll see how that market plays out, and we'll go from there.
Dana, right over here.
Okay.
I understand you said that Usman isn't healthy, but Colby Covington sees himself as the champion and has that fight against Robbie Lawler coming up. Regardless how that fight plays out, is Jorge Masvidal next in line for the title shot, though?
No, nobody is. There's nobody in line right now. When Usman is healthy, and we know that he can fight, we'll figure out what's next. Thank you.
Dana, hi mate, how are you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good, thank you. Rather than moving it forwards, You've been to a lot of UFC events over your time, yeah?
Yeah.
Pretty much all of them.
Yep.
Even in the crowd in the first couple.
Right.
Yeah. Is that one of the most dramatic nights you have ever witnessed in the history of the UFC?
Yeah, it was awesome. I love when big cards that have a lot of hype behind them deliver. You know, and this one definitely had hype. I mean, I don't know if you guys felt it, but we felt it. This thing was tracking huge on pay-per-view. You know, and they just had the buzz and the energy behind it. And think about this. It had Francis Ngannou and Dos Santos on it, right? And then Sugar Sean O'Malley was on the card, and the card took a couple of hits, and still just was such a stacked card. It was big.
Well, I wanted to ask you yesterday at the press conference, but I didn't want to jinx it because of the jinxes in the last 3 years, if you recall, on this particular event with Amanda, with Max Holloway, with John Jones, and so on.
Right.
John Jones tonight, you haven't said it yet, but he could have taken the guy down. He went into Santos's backyard, he had the left hook cocked all night for the surprise knockout. Isn't Jones incredible that he wants to fight everyone else with their tools to prove how good he is?
I wouldn't say that he fought with his tools. You know, obviously Santos cracks, you know, he hits hard and he's a powerful guy, but John Jones does too. I mean, John Jones has those nasty spinning elbows. He throws elbows on the inside like they're hands. He hits hard, kicks hard. I mean, he knocked Cormier out with a head kick. He's a very well-rounded guy too.
And then finally on Amanda, do you think she's one of the greatest of all time?
Yeah, absolutely.
And in answer to your question, if people aren't shaking with adrenaline tonight, they haven't watched the event properly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure. You guys good with me? Yeah. Was Masvidal's knockout?
The best you have
Oh yeah,
Aldo and Cub Swanson,
What's that?
Aldo and Cub Swanson, do you remember that one?
Who was it?
Aldo.
Aldo?
Yeah, when he knocked out Cub Swanson.
Oh yeah. Listen, we could probably, if you looked back and saw some of the knockouts that have happened, there's some nasty ones, but that one, not only how it landed, how he went down, but how many times he tried to get up and couldn't get up, and yeah, that was vicious. And I bet if you talk to him, he remembers nothing about leaving the octagon, or God knows when he starts remembering again, you know, things that he remembers after. Probably wasn't until he was in the ambulance or something like that. Yeah, that was one of the most vicious knockouts I've ever seen. Cool. Thank you guys so much. Have a good weekend.
I outgrew your clothes.
Tiago, I know you're disappointed right now at the result. It was very clear that you were injured throughout the fight. I guess can you tell us kind of what your physical status is now and how that injury exactly was affecting you as the fight was unfolding?
Thiago, a gente sabe que você deve estar pouquinho desapontado agora, mas
Puderam ver durante a luta, me atrapalhou um pouco durante a luta. Mas eu tentei fazer, eu fiz tudo que eu pude nas condições que eu estava. Então, deixei tudo lá dentro e é isso.
you know, everybody's first round. You think that John, I felt the need to go out, and you know, it really.
Não, era meu... Mas é normal, o machucado mesmo era no joelho esquerdo.
No, my right, it was my left knee. My right leg is a little bit banged up because of the kicks that hit the shin. You know, it's bone on bone, so it gets a little banged up, but it's not really anything.
And last thing, were you surprised at all he didn't try to take you down given what was going on with your leg?
Você ficou surpreso que ele não te botou para baixo, não tentou te botar para baixo com a sua lesão na perna?
Tentar, porque eu estava o tempo todo fintando o joelho, fintando o uppercut também. Então eu estava fintando bastante. Eu estava indo
First in Spanish and then in English. Tú me dijiste que tú impactarías al mundo, que sorprenderías al mundo, pero al final no pudo ser. You said me, you will choke.
You know, that's it happened.
Conversa com seus corners, com seus treinadores, em que round, se eles chegaram a mencionar, você ganhou esse round, como estava a pontuação, você teve o controle da luta, você lembra de que round você estava ganhando?
Okay, so what he's asking is if Thiago remembers between rounds what his corners were saying, if he'd won the round or if he lost the round.
A luta foi muito parelha, acho que não teve um round tão convincente assim, então a gente estava muito na dúvida, então eu sempre voltava achando que eu tinha perdido o round. Na dúvida, para mim, eu perdi, então eu sempre...
Convinced that I had won, and when in doubt, you go out as if you're losing, and that's what I tried to do. I was losing, and that's what I tried to do. I wasn't really sure, and like in doubt, I just moved forward.
Certo. Tiveram dois momentos na luta que eu, pelo menos, tive a impressão que você sofreu um knockdown. No terceiro round. Você chegou de fato, foi knockdown, chegou a ficar, não sei, perto de ser nocauteado. Como você lembra desse momento? Foi um chute alto e uma cotovelada giratória, se não me engano.
There were two moments when I thought you taken a knockdown in the fight. One was on the knee, and another was